Hey everyone, this is Mike from EdgeNote50 TV talking about boxing. If you're watching this channel for the first time, then hit the subscribe button so you can watch more of my shows. Earlier today, it's been announced that Dillian Whyte will be having a rematch with Dereck Chisora on December the 22nd at the O2 Arena. Now, I want to speak and address a few things about this fight. First off, I want to say straight off the bat that me personally, I would have preferred Dillian Whyte to face Luis Ortiz. However, the first fight between the two was good, and this fight makes more sense to him than fighting Ortiz. So let me explain to you why him fighting Chisora makes more sense than him fighting Ortiz. Number 1, money. Fans and casuals alike would like to believe that boxers who punch each other in the face for a living only do this for the joy of the sport. Well, fans, I have some bad news. Santa Claus is not real. The Tooth Fairy does not exist. And boxers do not fight for the love of the sport. They fight for money. That's why it's called prize fighting. It's simple. Dillian Whyte is going to be making millions of pounds from this fight. And there's an old saying, if it makes money, it makes sense. Boxers has been doing this for years, so let's not pretend that we wouldn't be doing the same if it was in his shoes. Number 2, the golden goose, which is Anthony Joshua. AJ has a free date in April, and with Wilder not wanting to fight AJ in April, that leaves Dillian Whyte as the front runner. Now, if you're Dillian Whyte, do you want to have a potential difficult fight with low reward against Ortiz because a few hardcore fans want it? Or you have a more easier fight, make millions of pounds, and potentially be fresh for a huge AJ fight in April? Dillian Whyte is thinking about the long game here, guys. And Chisora is not a bad opponent, let's face it. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been Dominic Brazil or some dude we've never even heard of, like the opponent Luis Ortiz is fighting on December the 1st. Number 3, rankings. Even though Dillian Whyte is number 1 with the WBC and should be mandatory to fight Wilder for the belt, he's not. So if Wilder fights and beats Luis Ortiz, it will bring him no closer to fighting Wilder. I'm not going to go into details, and I could do a separate show about this and talk about it all day, but I'm not. So in short, it could take up to 3 years from after fighting Ortiz before he gets a title shot against Wilder. So taking the first 2 points into consideration, what is the incentive to fight Luis Ortiz when he can get a title shot with arguably the biggest name in boxing in April? Now, I hear a lot of you talk about this, so let me address it now. By Dillian Whyte facing Chisora, is he ducking Ortiz? My answer to this is no. Why? Because he is facing an opponent with more upside than Ortiz. Now, when I say upside, I class it as 2 things. Upside as in 1, more money, 2, better opponents, or both. As long as you're doing these things, then to me, you're not ducking, because you're doing things that makes number 1, financial sense. After all, they are prize fighters. And number 2, legacy sense, as you're fighting someone who is better and more credible. So Chisora represents more money than Luis Ortiz, and AJ represents more money than Ortiz and is a better and more credible opponent than Ortiz. So like I said earlier, I would personally, as a hardcore fan, prefer Whyte facing Ortiz. But I'm not unhappy that this fight is happening because I know that it will be entertaining and it'll be a fun fight to watch. So do you agree or disagree? Do you like Chisora versus Whyte? Do you think it's going to be an entertaining fight? Do you disagree with everything I just said? If you do, leave some comments below. It'll be always interesting to hear what you have to say. If you like my channel and my shows, then subscribe because I'll be posting new shows on the regular. Any topics you want me to discuss, let me know and let's talk about it.